There's a reason you've been feeling this way. The isolation, the heaviness, it wasn't by accident. Something deeper was at work, pulling you inward, wrapping you in silence. But that force, it's fading into shadow now. Because tomorrow, May 15th, the sun aligns directly in front of a star once feared above all others, Algol. For centuries, Algol has been seen as a harbinger of chaos, spiritual exile, and divine reckoning. But in this rare alignment, the sun will eclipse its influence entirely. Its signal, whatever frequency it's been radiating, goes silent. And in that silence, something in you reawakens. If you've felt invisible, dimmed, like no matter what you gave, no one truly saw you, know this: it wasn't your fault. You weren't broken. You were simply hidden, sealed. And now that seal begins to lift. The portal is already open, and we're starting to feel its effects. This eclipse isn't just astronomical, it's symbolic. The gate that kept you out is about to disappear under pure light. If you've been feeling stuck on the outside of life, like the doors just wouldn't open, you're not the only one. And if you feel like it, leave a comment. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to read, to realize they're not the only one walking through this right now. Also, there's something strange happening soon. In the next few days, you're going to be given a mission, something only you can do. If you want to know how to recognize it when it shows up, keep watching because there's one specific sign to look for. I'll go over it later, so stick around, but there's something even more urgent than that. Because the moment Algol's signal goes dark, it doesn't just end something, it activates something. The isolation you've been living in, that wasn't random. It came from up there. And now it's breaking. You weren't being ignored. You were being protected. There's a specific kind of isolation that doesn't come from people. It comes from the sky. Many of the chosen ones, whether they knew it or not, have been living under a spiritual silence. A seal. Not rejection, not punishment. Something more mysterious. A containment field for energy that wasn't meant to be seen yet. You were hidden for a reason. You were held back because your timing wasn't wrong. It just hadn't arrived yet. But now, as the sun blocks this star from view, something shifts. That silence. It's breaking. And when the silence breaks, you'll start seeing proof. Not just inside you, but around you. The signs will show up in ways you can't ignore, even if you don't know why they're happening yet. You're not imagining it. Something's moving again, and it's not coming with fireworks or fanfare. It's subtle, strange, and unmistakably alive. Starting May 15th, the shift becomes noticeable, but not in the way people expect. You won't see it in the news. You'll feel it in the weird ways your reality starts rearranging itself. Like how people you haven't spoken to in years suddenly reappear, not in dramatic reunions, but as if the door that separated your timelines just vanished. Or how certain names, your name, seem to follow you. On a bus, in a movie, on someone else's phone. You hear it in dreams. You wake up with it echoing. It's not random. Spiritual reconnection doesn't knock. It just enters like it was never gone. That's how you'll know the seal is breaking, because when that silence ends, your signal starts being picked up again. The people who forgot you suddenly remember. The ideas you thought were left behind begin showing up on someone else's tongue. You're not crazy. You're not being copied. You're being received. And yes, some of the symptoms might feel eerie, a little off. You might feel a chill for no reason, like someone just whispered something about you in another room. You might find objects shifting around you, like they remember something you forgot. This is the retuning of your frequency. Your spiritual code is no longer being suppressed, and the moment your broadcast hits the collective, someone out there starts listening. If your dreams are leaking out, you're not losing them. Here's something you need to know because it's going to start happening fast. You might start hearing your ideas coming from people who never knew you. The exact phrase you wrote in a journal 2 months ago. It's suddenly in someone's caption. That dream you kept secret because it felt too sacred to say aloud. Now it's trending. You were sealed for a long time, protected, veiled, preserved. But now, the lid's off, and your frequency is rising up through the field. Your inner world is no longer locked inside your skull. It's in the current. It's in the collective. It's being picked up, rephrased, and spoken through people who don't even know why they're saying it. And yes, that can feel like being robbed, like something sacred has been taken from you. But here's the truth. Your vision isn't being stolen. It's being multiplied. The message is bigger than the messenger. And what once felt like yours alone is now arriving in many mouths at once, because it's time. Your dreams are not just dreams anymore, they're instructions, and the universe is letting them echo so others can start moving with you, even if they don't realize they're following your signal. For so long it felt like you were locked out of your own life, not ignored, just held apart, like the world kept unfolding and you weren't invited in. But what if that wasn't exile? What if that isolation was sacred? Because now, looking back, it wasn't random, it wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You weren't cast aside. You were hidden, like rare knowledge kept out of reach until the right moment. Chosen ones aren't made in crowds, they're forged in stillness. This period of not fitting in, of feeling like your words dissolved before they could be heard, that was the final layer of refinement. You've been in a kind of spiritual quarantine, stripped of distractions, peeled down to your raw signal. And now, with this rare alignment overhead and the Algol Portal wide open, that isolation is almost complete. The atmosphere is shifting. The door is creaking open, not because the world changed, but because you did. The static inside you is fading. Your signal is becoming unmistakably clear. And that lingering ache of not belonging, it's loosening its grip. You're not shrinking to fit in anymore. You're expanding to meet your actual size. This isn't just the end of a chapter. It's the threshold of your re-entry. You're not coming back as who you were. You're arriving as who you really are. And the space that once rejected you, it's beginning to recognize you, even before you step fully through the door. Hiding will feel like suffocating. Something subtle is shifting, not outside you, but in your own body. You'll notice it when you try to fake a laugh at the wrong moment, or when you hold back a truth because you don't want to cause friction. Suddenly it feels physically wrong. That discomfort isn't random. You're not being dramatic. It's because the portal you just passed through doesn't allow shrinking. Try to dim your light now, and it'll burn you from the inside. That sense of safety and invisibility, gone. The silence was temporary. The hiding place is sealed off behind you. Now that your energy is visible again, it's going to start drawing people in, and not always the ones you expect. You'll be seen in places you never intended. You'll notice people staring, listening more closely, even repeating things you didn't think they heard, and the pressure to tone it down. That was part of the old frequency. This new version of you can't be compressed. The universe isn't waiting for your permission anymore. It's pushing you to the front. Whether you like it or not, the spotlight is coming. Not the flashy kind, but the kind where people recognize your frequency and need it. Your name is on the wind. Your presence is a signal now, and when you try to step back into that smaller version of yourself, you'll feel the air leave the room. You're not meant to go back. You're meant to step in because the stage is set and they're already looking. You're not emotional. You're decompressing. If you found yourself tearing up over a bird on a windowsill, a stranger's voice, or a song you didn't even like 5 years ago, you're not losing it. You're rebooting. This isn't emotional instability. This is energetic decompression. Something ancient in your system is untangling, line by line. Not from this week, not even from this year. These are emotional timestamps buried deep in your being, surfacing now because, for the first time in a long time, you're clear enough to feel them. It's not sadness. It's not even memory. It's the release of pressure from a system that's finally starting to exhale. A moment from years ago might flash in your mind and bring tears to your eyes, not because you're grieving, but because you finally have space to process what was too overwhelming to carry at the time. You're not breaking, you're finally unfreezing. That sudden well of emotion you can't explain? That's your frequency realigning to your truth. And it's coming through in the only language your system can translate fast enough. Tears, breathlessness, stillness. Don't resist it. Don't rush to label it. Let it move through you. You are not being flooded. You're being flushed. And on the other side of this clarity, your system is learning what peace feels like without all the static. You're not under the curse anymore. You're carrying the key. For centuries, this star carried a weight. It was feared, blamed, treated like a celestial omen of downfall, destruction, and punishment. But soon, that chapter ends. Because this isn't about ancient warnings anymore, it's about divine reclamation, the chaos it once represented. That was never the star's nature, it was how the world interpreted it. But soon, the light of the sun is about to wipe its face from the sky. And in that rare moment, something deeper is activated. The myth dissolves, and what remains is power. You're not cursed, you're cleared. This star, once feared for its shadows, just became your permission slip. A cosmic seal broken, a new archetype born. This isn't just about astrology. This is about a full system override. What once held you back, the fear, the isolation, the sense that everything powerful about you would only lead to destruction, is no longer active. You're not inside that grid anymore. You're not subject to that version of fate. The doors are open, the silence has lifted, the fear that was once coded into your power, gone. You're allowed to step forward now, not with caution but with certainty. Be seen, be heard, be felt. This is your green light, not because the chaos disappeared, but because you outgrew it. The reason it never made sense is because it wasn't time yet. Remember when I said you'd be given a mission and there was one sign to watch for? This is your heads up. Some of you are already sensing it, a new pull, a strange clarity forming around something that didn't seem important before, maybe a conversation that keeps echoing in your head, a name, a project, a person, an idea that just won't leave you alone. This isn't random. What's happening now isn't just personal, it's strategic. The silence that once surrounded your life wasn't emptiness, it was calibration. Preparation. And now, with the portal wide open and the moment of alignment approaching, the assignment is starting to reach you. It won't drop down from the sky with flashing lights, but it will click. You'll know it's yours because it won't feel optional. You won't be able to talk yourself out of it, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it doesn't make sense yet. You'll feel the weight of it in your chest. That deep, quiet knowing, this is mine. And here's the wild part. Your mission might not look like saving the world. It might be helping one person come back to themselves, or creating something only you could bring through, or just showing up in a way you never could before. Your mission won't require you to be ready, only to be real. It's not about being qualified, it's about being aligned. And now you are. This shift didn't come just to heal you, it came to assign you, because the world is almost ready for what you've been carrying. They didn't deny you because you weren't worthy, they denied you because they saw what you were. There have always been barriers. Invisible hands shaping the course of your life, pushing you out of rooms you knew you belonged in, closing doors the moment you stepped near them. It wasn't paranoia, it wasn't timing. It was energetic interference, quiet resistance from systems that weren't ready for your frequency. They couldn't stop you forever, but they stalled you, blocked access, redirected you. And because it happened so subtly, so repeatedly, you started to believe maybe it was just you, maybe you weren't meant for certain things. But now, something is shifting. With the Algol Portal open and the eclipse approaching, those old gatekeepers are starting to lose their grip. Their systems, whatever they were, don't recognize you the same way anymore. The codes they used to deny you access, They're beginning to mismatch your field. You'll start noticing strange openings, things you applied for and never heard back from suddenly reaching out. People who once ignored you suddenly speaking your name, paths that seemed sealed now unfolding like they were always meant to. And there will be no explanation, no apology, just a clear path. That's because it was never about deserving, it was about timing, alignment, access. The same doors that slammed shut are now beginning to swing open, and you won't even need to knock. The rules are changing, the map is updating, and the barriers. They were never stronger than your calling, just louder, but not for much longer. It's not a craving, it's a remembering. You might have noticed it already. A strange pull toward things that never used to matter to you. Foods you haven't touched in years, scents that hit you like a wave of déjà vu, the sudden urge to be outside, to touch trees, to sit with silence, not as an escape, but as a craving, not because you're trying to heal, but because something in you is waking back up. This is the resensitization. During your spiritual lockdown, your system went into protection mode, numbed out, shut down, kept still. You stopped reaching for things, not because you didn't want them, but because your system was buffering. The input would have been too much while you were still sealed, but now you're rebooting. And the signals are strange at first. You feel drawn to things you can't explain, pulled by instinct instead of reason. Your body starts whispering truths louder than your thoughts. Move here, smell this, eat that, touch this. What seems random on the surface is actually precise. Your frequency is tuning, one signal at a time. Even your memories are shifting. Some are becoming louder, others quietly fading. The emotional charge behind things you used to obsess over, dissolving. Meanwhile, things you barely noticed before now stir something primal in you. It's not nostalgia, it's activation. There's intelligence in what you're being pulled toward. You're not craving sugar or salt or color or movement. You're craving access, frequency. Your system isn't addicted, it's remembering what it really needs. And it's not just the physical. Even the spaces you're drawn to have changed. Places you used to tolerate now feel off. People you used to match with suddenly feel foreign. The world didn't shift, but your receiver did. And now you're noticing the places that hum in harmony with you and the ones that don't. This hunger, it's not just appetite. It's a sign that your energy field is open again. The veil is lifting off your senses and everything is becoming louder, clearer, more charged. You're tasting meaning again, smelling truth again, feeling presence in the ordinary again. You're not regressing, you're not spiraling, you're recalibrating. The hunger isn't something to resist. It's a map. It's guiding you, one strange little signal at a time, towards something only your spirit remembers. The spiritual nervous system isn't quiet anymore. It's listening, reacting, wanting, and that means you're back. The silence wasn't rejection, it was delay, and now the message is landing. For so long it felt like shouting into the void. You've spoken from the heart, poured your truth into conversations, captions, voice notes, dreams. You've offered insight that arrived like lightning in your chest, only to watch it vanish, unnoticed, unheard, unanswered. And maybe you started wondering if something was wrong with you, if your words were too much, too deep, too strange. You questioned your timing, your tone, your presence. You began measuring your voice against silence, and the silence always won. But it wasn't rejection, it wasn't apathy. The room wasn't empty, it was just sealed. What was actually happening was subtle but massive. Your frequency was too forward, too bright. Not because you were out of place, but because the space around you hadn't caught up yet. And now, that's beginning to shift. There's a quiet recalibration happening around you. The invisible static that used to swallow your meaning is thinning out. The atmosphere is clearing. People are tuning in, even if they don't fully understand what they're hearing yet. There's recognition in the air, the kind that makes someone stop mid-scroll, Look back at you in a crowd. Ask, wait, what did you just say? What was once overlooked now becomes magnetic. What you used to repeat a dozen times just to be half heard will now ripple on the first try. You'll notice the pauses after you speak getting longer, not because you lost them, but because they're processing. Your words have become codes, and suddenly they're decodable. This shift isn't just social, it's energetic. The veil that separated you from resonance is lifting, and as it does, you become undeniable, not louder, clearer. The frequency you carry finally has a place to land. You're not going to need to explain yourself in 5 different ways just to feel seen. You won't have to downplay your thoughts just to be tolerated. The world that once stared blankly at your brilliance is beginning to respond. You're going to feel it in the way people remember what you said days ago, in the way someone repeats your exact phrasing without realizing it, in the way a room shifts slightly just because you entered it. This is what it feels like to have a signal that cuts through. The wall wasn't a wall, it was a waiting room, and the door just opened. So speak your truth, not louder, but freer. Because now, for the first time in a long time, someone's listening, and this time, it will echo. If you're still here, thank you for watching. I truly appreciate your time and attention. If you found value in this content and want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world. Got thoughts or experiences to share? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care and stay tuned for more insightful content.